Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, there's no intro music tonight. I am having some technical difficulties with one of my other devices, but welcome to the show. It's another Saturday night sci-fi shadow chat. Omen, who just blanked the screen, there he is, and I, and anybody else who wants to jump in and hit the old link and discuss sci-fi IPs that need a game of their own. We're also going to add some board games to the mix because, as Omen just said, the game Twilight Imperium could really benefit from having an actual role-playing game. Although, considering that the guys who made the game really, there's not a lot of people that really worked on the project, so that would probably, they're probably already working on an expansion or something for, that particular game. It might come about, but they really seem like a bunch of guys that want to, keep everything, tightly under wraps between the 3 or 4 guys that actually created the IP. What's happening, Justin? What's happening, Grandma? Welcome to the show, guys. Hope you guys are having a great weekend. We were just talking about that. I got a lot done today, even though I slept into like 11, which was really nice. But then again, I was up till 2 a.m. playing Knights of the Old Republic, which is, I'm pretty sure there's an RPG for it. And we got Brian wanting to pop in. You are always welcome. Oh, my God. You two ought to just, stream from the same location.
We've tried. I can't, he's like, well, I got to go out with the wife, and I can't blame him because...
It's like Ronald, you're not weird enough, brother. You're just not weird enough.
No, that's true.
You know what? It's the guys like Omen that make me wonder just how weird they really are, because they're so, straight-laced, you know what I mean, and so professional and dignified, and as he just says, "Screw you guys, I'm out of here."
No,
that's the ones with the dungeons and who knows what's going down.
Omen, you probably could play a pretty good bad guy. Just saying,
I would.
Just do one of these for us.
American Psycho. You're like, get some Phil Collins going.
Yeah. Well, if I'm going to do that, I need to dress more like your son. As I like the hat when you come over and you just put it down. Every villain has to do things slowly and purposefully.
True.
Have you been noticing he's using this as his white cat?
I saw that. He's like, I expect you to die, Mr. Bond.
He's never seen a Bond film.
What? Dude, you're failing as a father.
Oh my God! Going. You know what we have to do at this point is, if nothing else, is we're going to have to get him to see Blofeld so he can see the anyway.
He hasn't even seen Austin Powers.
No, my favorite Bond is in Her Majesty's Secret Service, and that's got some awesome Blofeld in it right there.
Oh
yeah. Okay, real quick, favorite Bond. You know what? You guys are gonna hate me, but my favorite was probably GoldenEye.
That's not bad. That's a good one.
I'm trying to think of
growing up watching Pierce Brosnan. As a kid, I'm like, this guy is more Bond than the Bonds I'm watching. He was meant for the role, and the fact that they ushered him out. Oh, you're too old. Psst, really?
Whatever.
I'm going to say this much. I liked Skyfall.
Skyfall was not bad. Yeah.
Good. Because I like that. I like Judi Dench. I thought that she does a very good thing, but I enjoyed that one.
Well, and what's her face wasn't hard in GoldenEye. Onatopp wasn't hard to look at either.
You know what? There's a certain point when everyone's
oh my God, tell me about it, right?
Yeah.
Ooh. Do you guys remember her in that episode of Next Generation?
No.
She was in an episode of. Okay, remember I'm pretty sure it's the one where oh God, who was that actor who played one of the bad guys in oh God, so many shows. He was one of the bad guys at the end of Heroes, but he was also in that show like Jailbreak or something like that. He played Teabag.
Oh yeah, oh shit! I know who you're talking about, the kind of like the rat looking guy.
Right. Well, always... in the Star Trek episode, he played this son of this guy who was having these psychic visions of this woman. And he kept painting her picture, and then this plague ship came in, and she was like the girl he's been painting all his life. He's supposed to marry this other girl.
Yeah, I know. I think I remember that episode. I don't remember Famke Janssen being the girl, but maybe it was.
Oh no, you're right. I think she was the one who was she was like this every man who ever came near her was just like totally attracted to her kind of thing, which, you know, no shit. But
yeah, it's like that's probably not far from the truth.
Yeah.
So
I remember he probably plays for the other team. So
if we're going to start with James Bond, does that count as sci-fi or not?
Absolutely.
Moonraker. That's pretty sci-fi. I don't know, man. James Bond's gadgets and stuff, that could be pretty sci-fi.
Well, I was just wondering because, you know, the last time I remember something like this was Top Secret, which I think captured the feeling pretty well, but, you know, that's out of print. So
there was a James Bond game. I actually had
PSR.
it. I had it, and I didn't like it as much as Top Secret for whatever reason. Probably because I wasn't a big Sean Connery fan, and I couldn't. And Roger Moore just struck me as just a little too fruity, you know. For
wait a minute. If we're going to talk about that, and you mentioned him, we have to bring up Zardoz.
Oh my God, that is painful. You know, okay, listen, guys. I love bad sci-fi and bad horror. I eat that stuff up. But the worst sci-fi movie I've ever seen in my life is Barbarella. Oh. My God, my eyes bleed. I mean, Jane Fonda is hot, but that movie is a freaking train wreck. It is just insanity. Oh,
yeah, I only saw it once, and I was literally scarred. Welcome to the show, Justin. Grandma, you want to pop in? The link's up there. And I was a youngster when I saw it. I was actually pretty surprised that it was on like regular TV. You know, even with the one scene, you know, it was just like, seriously? Wow. You know.
And what was funny is it was rated PG.
Was it really? I thought it was R.
No, it was rated PG. As if you look back at it.
I mean, oh my God, it was just painful.
Well, you know what? We're talking about IPs. We're not saying good IPs. We're just saying IPs we don't think they've done.
Yeah, Barbara.
I'm just saying, how could you badmouth Zardoz?
Oh my God!
Actually, Rick and Morty did Zardoz the best. So,
Justin, meet Brian. Brian, meet Justin.
Justin
is our resident troll.
We've been on this show together before.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm getting old, man. It's been a long day. Even though I slept 11 hours, I got back from this trip, and I'm just like, shower or nap.
My view is take the shower before the nap, so you sleep even better.
Yeah. I remember the last. Yeah, that's funny. Mel's. I was about to say. I can't remember the last time I, slept for 11 hours. Mel says, "Oh, what? Took a shower? Can't remember the last time I took a shower." Oh. That's my wife, guys. That's my wife. Painful.
No, I can't, but I can remember the last time I took a nice, long, relaxing bath with candles and scented bubbles.
Well, you know what? I can too.
Never.
Like 2 hours ago.
Whoa. It's only weird if it's by yourself.
Yeah.
If you've got company and you're doing that.
Well, I have to admit, in my experience, if you have company, those candles don't stay lit for very long.
Oh, you gotta put them on a shelf on the other side of the room.
Yeah. Otherwise, the splashing is definitely gonna put them out, And the last thing you want to do is try to get out of a bathtub in the dark.
Yeah, that's true.
That just sounds like a very, very
you gotta
awkward
be
trip
smart.
to the
You gotta have the little emergency nightlight plugged in by the razor thing.
You just use your hands to feel around.
Wait.
Okay.
Why did you feel that Justin buys those little $1 candles they're used by batteries that look kind of like candles that they do a little flickering?
The tea light looking thing.
Tea light? Yeah,
Yes.
dude. I probably got like 50. I've got tea lights right here, man. This one's actually one of my favorites because it's got the circle. And here, let me show you. Hold on. You guys probably didn't see this, but I just took one of those bad boys and turned it into a mystic portal. Ooh.
Oh, you know what? That's actually pretty good.
Oh, there you go.
It's just hot glue. Just a bunch of hot glue around the edge. And boom. I want to set it in something so it's like hidden, the battery pack and all that. But,
Sure.
I got 2 of them, I think, for $1. And now I've got, matching portals, other ones somewhere else. Yeah, tell me.
I got a perfect IP that deserves a game. Space Above and Beyond.
Space Above and
You
Beyond.
could do space combat. You could do ground infantry,
dude.
armor. That was it.
You win.
You know what they need to make? They need to make a role-playing game for. Is
such a great show.
This Forgotten Realms franchise. I keep reading these books. They need to make a role-playing game for that.
Is that sci-fi?
No, I was just making a joke.
Well, speaking of which, if we're going to do that, is we might as well, even though I know that the setting is there for DCC, I'm not sure if it really counts as the good old Dying Earth.
Oh yeah,
because Dying Earth
it's too problematic or whatever for modern audiences.
Well, DCC doesn't seem to care, even though I know that they're woke. They don't really seem to care because they're like, we're old school. Everyone dies left and right. Who the hell cares? They're.
I guess the new kerfluffle going on is that they're doing away with mixed races. So half elves and half.
From what I understand, is they're actually giving you generic rules to do that with every racial class instead of just the specific ones.
It's
the way they came out with the message made it sound.
Well, I think a lot of people look for clickbait too,
because everything that I've heard makes it sound like the exact opposite of that it's racist. It's my son is half Mexican. How is 2 things coming together racist? You know what I mean?
Here's the thing. I think I don't want to get too much into this. The reality I think is that people are claiming everything's bad, and stop trying to bring your real life into my fantasy game. It's goddamn fantasy, and if it's fantasy, and here's the other thing. If you actually know mythology, which none of these people do, they think that the world started with Harry Potter, or that the first female character was.
No, Harry Potter is still too problematic.
No. I'm sorry, but these we're talking about what people actually grew up with. They think that's where mythology started, ignoring the fact that these Norse mythology goes back over 1,000 years and things. Shut the hell up! We've had half breeds of half mixes between everything since the Bible. All right.
Thank you.
Zeus is flying around as a swan doing people.
I tried getting Mac to reel it in when I told him that about Genesis 6 Friday night, and he's like, trying to say that was only possible because of the magic from the angels. Well, so no, I don't think that's the case. I mean, partially yes, but they weren't sterile either afterwards.
Well, there was the Nephilim as well.
Are you guys talking about the Book of Enoch?
Well, that too, yeah. Technically, but Genesis 6 is where it first starts, and then it gets more explained in the Book of Enoch that the
which was deleted, so it doesn't count.
Right.
well, no.
So is the Book of Delete. That's been cut out too. So
no, it's
just funny because I got a copy right here.
There's a difference.
Brian, I got a copy right here of all 3 books of Enoch. But exactly, it's got some really interesting, inexplicable, and very hard to explain information from a time, that they didn't have that kind of information. So, I don't know.
Those books, those deleted books of the Bible are fantastic for if you want to get into your weird or do fantasy stuff. Oh man. Angels, a whole nother level of angels, and then Lilith being Adam's first wife.
Well,
all
those
that
aren't
kind of
deleted.
crap.
They're supplemental. Is the
Yeah.
whole thing. I mean,
There's asterisks in it.
no.
and stuff.
No. What I'm saying is, it's just like whenever you buy your D&D book. Do you want your D&D book to be 12,000 pages, or do you want it to be like 600, and then you buy the other 6,000 pages
That's
as you
true.
supplement
That's
to
true.
it?
I want it to be 40 pages.
Well, you know what? Don't just be one. Go read the Ten Commandments. There you go.
There you go,
Anyways,
man.
Yep. But
Yeah, I took
well,
world
let's-
religions in
let's stick to
college,
it.
man. And honestly, I was like taking notes on
Mm.
like the mythology and like the not so much the religiosity of it, but more the like the cool story. I can put that in my fantasy. I can put that in my D&D, dude.
okay, let's stick with sci-fi here and stop trying to bring
Yeah,
in the
sorry I made a
like
joke.
Okay,
Reel it
Babylon
in.
5.
Sure,
How about Babylon 5, which I know
It
had a
technically
D20,
has
but
a
it's
game.
nothing out there right
It
now.
does have a game.
It has
It
a
does,
miniatures
but it's
game,
not out there
but
now,
it's
is what I'm saying.
Oh,
it could
yeah.
use
Is it
it.
an RPG or is it just the miniature?
Miniature.
Uh,
It had both.
They had a
RPG.
land combat and a space combat for Babylon 5, and it was good. The space
It was-
combat was really
Right.
good.
Yeah, I had the space combat. Didn't have the character miniature version, and I still have some of the ships. But I don't think it ever had an RPG.
It did.
And
I think
Oh,
it
it
did.
did.
Mongoose did it. Back
Oh,
in the
okay.
day. But like a lot of things, these things just disappear. So I'm trying to say is I'm trying to view as active RPGs that you can get more than anything else. Is
okay.
You
Because
know.
yeah, there's,
Well, I
there's
meant-
some very old
remember when the-
inactive ones that are probably hard for people to get.
yeah.
When the D20 system dropped, man, when they did the open content, everybody was making a role-playing game for everything.
Right.
Buffy, Serenity, Ghostbusters. I'm sure,
Was
the
Serenity
nerd,
a D20?
Domino's nerd.
Babylon
Hey,
5
what's up,
was a
Captain
D20.
Gamer? Hey, Joseph, how you doing? Was Serenity a D20? Because I thought it was
I'm not sure.
I thought it was like a D6 sort of like Star Wars, die pool type game. So I've got it right here.
Yeah, I'm not
I've got Serenity. Yeah, I've got Serenity. I don't have Firefly. And I didn't like Serenity because it was, very D6 die pool. I just give me 2 dice and let me go. That's all I need.
see-
Maybe 3.
I like dice pools myself. I like rolling a lot of dice. There's something to be said for that. But again, I don't want anything
too
that
many
goes
damn
past
dice.
about 10 dice. Usually once you start getting 10 dice, I'm like, okay, we've had quite enough. But
I was going to say,
No.
check out some 40K games. You're rolling like 50 or 60.
If you can't fit your dice into a dice snapper, you have too many dice.
no, there's no such thing. Shut up there, Justin. You should be banned. No, I say this as I've got like this
So-
bag of dice.
Being a
It's like
wargamer.
dice
I would not
snappers.
be surprised, Joseph. Joseph says it's a wonder how many of the sci-fi programs on TV are based on Sumerian legends. Yeah, I was just thinking of Battlestar Galactica in that exact frame of mind. But I was also thinking of Battlestar Galactica as a sci-fi version of an old Western TV show you guys may remember called Wagon Train.
Yeah.
Wagon
Well,
Train.
Battlestar Galactica was done by a bunch of Mormons, and it was a way to it's
We're talking about the original. We're not talking about the remake.
Right.
Trap.
well, they're all based on the same thing. Go look at it's done by the same guy who's the same producer. It may
Was
not
it?
be the
Yeah, that
Was
would be me,
Yeah.
Eli. Yeah, talking shit about D6s. You only need 2 or 3. Not enough dice. You guys, literally, my dice collection.
Every game should be
Right
played
here.
with quarters.
What did I say the other day? I said the exact same thing. One of these days, games are gonna get so simplified. You just flip a coin for yes or no. And this is my dice collection. This is it. That's my dice collection.
Here's the problem that you get with that is then you start getting, well, I don't want to give you quite that much. So then you start getting into, now you have to flip
2 or
8
3.
coins and you basically get a dice pool system all over again, but it's now 8 coins instead of.
And then you're disparaging the poor because they don't have coins at all to roll. So
If you don't have 8
This
pennies,
is
that's on
problematic.
you.
You know
This
what?
is
It's
how-
funny you mention that.
This is
we
how
actually
Wizards of the
use-
Coast could monetize the game. Every time you lose a coin toss, you have to send that coin to the company.
yeah.
We actually we were in a situation where we didn't have dice, so we actually used 10 pennies.
Yeah.
to roll d10s and things like that, and it'll work. But one of these days, someone's going to make the D2 system. You know what I mean? It's just a freaking coin.
Well, but
I'm
but
already
no,
working
it'll
on
still
it.
be a dice pull system where you have to. It's like, well,
Just
you
give
have
me
to,
credit
you have,
somewhere in
you have
there.
to get $2 in
There,
quarters. That's
Justin,
what you
I'll
have
be
to
happy.
Yeah. The DM's
Well-
called the Shadow.
Well, 2 to
There you
10.
go. I
Danger.
like it. I like it.
Hey, 2 to 10th power. That gives you 1 in 1,000. So there you go. 1 in 1,024, depending on what you need. Now, what are some other IPs? And I'm trying to say active IPs because people get them and then they become inactive, and it's like,
Well,
so-
I don't know
Hey,
who
Mac.
owns what, so
There's
Yeah,
a pretty. Go ahead.
I was just saying to Mac, Exodus Space Opera is good story stuff. I've done it before. I really like it. It's probably been done before a lot, besides just Battlestar Galactica. The whole idea of going from one place to another. Hell, even the movie When Worlds Collide. Has anybody ever read the sequel to When Worlds Collide?
no.
Or did you
No.
guys even know there was such a thing?
No.
Yeah, you remember that old 1950s, 1960s movie When Worlds Collide, right?
I only
Seen
know
it,
it
yeah.
from the opening song of Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Okay.
Is that?
Never watched it.
No, I don't remember
There's the song. They're talking about all the old B movies.
that.
So let's. Okay, so what are there some other sci-fi? Because we talked about Twilight. Did we talk about Twilight Imperium up there? Barely. Okay.
There's a new. It's a horror show, but I mean, I guess it's kind of sci-fi. Where's that? Is that show called There? Them? What was that show called, baby? There. It's on. Or it's There. It's these people just they drive into this town and they can't escape it. And at night, these creatures come out and they look like loved ones, right? And
Cabinet Squirrel, welcome to the show.
it's a really good show, but I can see that being kind of a cool skirmish, maybe some sort of like role play psychological game. I think that would be them.
I don't have to look it up.
There, I think
A
it's
couple,
there.
a couple
Or
come
they
to
or
mind. Is there one for Cowboy Bebop? And is there one for I just forgot Altered Carbon?
So Cowboy Bebop
Well, Altered
dropped.
Carbon was
I'm
awesome.
not sure if it's in print yet, but it's definitely had a Kickstarter, and they should be getting it at some point.
Okay.
I
Okay.
can't believe Cowboy Bebop hasn't had an RPG yet. I think it's been around a while.
No. I'm saying I think that they did a Cowboy Bebop Kickstarter, and
Oh,
I
okay.
saw it recently, so I think it's out there. It's just not that it's. I'm not sure if it's in print yet, but it's definitely. It's in the works.
That could be a really good cooperative, like miniature style game where you're playing the
Okay. Thanks,
team
Eli.
and
There is one for Altered Carbon.
There is.
Altered Carbon was a great show, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I keep meaning to read the books.
So okay, you can pre-order Cowboy Bebop RPG right now if you want. So
Okay. I probably won't, but I really enjoyed it a lot. And what I was thinking, what brought that on is because my friend was blown away that he didn't know this one.
I didn't know about that. Yeah,
Trigon.
but it's a D20. That's my negative aspect towards it.
Well, it's also big eyes, small mouth. So
Okay.
there's that too.
Hey,
There's
if
a
you can make
show
money
out
off
there.
of it, more power to you. That's all I can say. It's just not my thing.
There's a show out there I really, really like called Love, Death, and Rockets. Or
Oh,
Robots.
yeah. Love, Death, and Robots.
Yeah. And it's just a bunch of little, like 15 or 20-minute shorts. But I'd love to see, like, a game that's like that's almost geared for, like, one-shots. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, literally like a game where you could generate your characters real quick. Shauner would be freaking just, his head would explode because he would, like, own 20 copies of it. But something so that you could do, you could try out, like a quickly created setting with some generic sort of rules to get you in, play the one shot, and decide if you want to go on with the story. Maybe even like something where you have like, you know, you got a table full of dungeon masters, you know what I mean, who've been doing it, and every weekend or whatever, they take turns, you know, okay, Frank, it's your turn. What do you got for us? And you know, when everybody's had a chance to go around, you know, dungeon mastering their one shot, see which one was the most popular that everybody wanted to go in and go, okay, now we'll go there. You know, something that would incorporate, you know, all the things like you know, playing a robot as a character. You know, every time I've seen it, it's done really kind of poorly to where, you know, you're better off running like a human. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Make it to where, you know, not that they're super powerful, but to where, you know, it's worth it. You know, where you would want to run, you know, an android or a robot and not either steal the show or be, you know, a sidekick.
I could never play a robot because every time the DM asked me to do anything, I just reply beep boop, beep boop.
And then all of a sudden the DM says you have a fatal internal crash. The robot falls over.
I will say this much is you can go if you want to talk about one, how about a tongue-in-cheek one for kids, which would be Dexter's Lab.
Oh, Dexter, yeah, Dexter.
Or even like Adventure Time would be really cool for kids.
Adventure Time.
Although for me, if we're going to do Cartoon Network, I'm going to go with either the Venture Brothers, which I'm working on, or Metalocalypse.
Yes. Metalocalypse, I can see as long as it's purely tongue-in-cheek. Actually, did you know that they I forgot what it was called. They brought out one that reminded me of the Valhallan from Dexter's Lab, where it was a rock and roll Viking one.
I
can find it on IMDb. I remember somewhere.
My favorite rock and roll.
It's RPG. They brought out RPG for it.
John Nickel Thor, baby.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I know the one you're talking about, but I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
I was thinking, what's that show where they're at their uncle's fake monster cabin? It's like the brother and sister.
Oh, Gravity Falls.
Gravity Falls.
Oh,
yeah, that's a great show.
That would be a good small party.
Venture Brothers is probably one of my top 3 favorite TV shows of all freaking time.
That's great.
I tried getting the boy to watch it. We made it through about 3 seasons, and he's just, you know, just getting, you know, less and less into it because it's getting more and more, you know, sexual, and you know, he's just like, no.
Wait. 2 ton 21. I mean, come on, 2 ton 21. I know his story arc is,
and I still have 2 seasons I've not seen yet. I for a good many years I just couldn't get any access to it, and I was waiting because I wanted him to watch it, and he liked, you know, the first and second season, but somewhere around the 3rd season it just went kind of south for him. I'm hoping later on
Archer's
down the road,
a good one too.
Which one?
Yeah. Very Archer's hilarious, but yes, very sexualized there.
Yeah, that's even more not going to be up his alley.
You're making us change our name from ISIS.
Okay, I'm going to mention one that probably that I loved reading the manga for. Was
Dude, if I would have spit water out, man, you'd be buying me a tablet. That was hysterical.
Akira is a really good one. If anyone has read those.
You know, I literally loved Archer so much that it was on. I think it was on Netflix up to like season 5 or 6. When I was done watching it, I just went right back to season 1, episode 1, like 3 or 4 times in a row. That's all I watched when I finally, you know, got done with everything at the house. You know, little guy's asleep. Time to watch some Archer, and you know, I'd be painting miniatures and laughing my ass off. And he one night he woke up and you know, wanted a glass of water, came out, you know, and he's like, "What the hell am I watching, Dad? What the hell is this?" Don't worry about it, son. Go back to bed.
Is that kind of love for it is Red Dwarf, dude. I can watch Red Dwarf
Yep.
every single day forever.
That is another freaking great one. I don't know how I forgot that one.
Red Dwarf, but I'd also like a game setting where you could play before they fell asleep.
Yeah. They're on Jupiter or something.
You know what? As a matter of fact, Brian, I actually have the Red Dwarf RPG now that you mention it. I've got it somewhere.
That's cool.
Yeah. I'll never get a chance to play it, until I get detected. But yeah, especially with the alternate reality video game they were doing, the virtual reality, or even like you guys said, before the accident, or just in the same galaxy, but some other ship that that people for whatever reason survive.
Well, you ever pay attention?
It's a fun read.
You ever pay attention to the way the world was set up? It's batshit insane.
Oh yeah,
like the society that they come from is just off the freaking wall.
I love the one news report where they're saying that rubber nuclear weapons had to be deployed against the crowds. I mean, and the reason why was that they found a missing page of the Bible, and it goes at the front of the Bible and says this is purely fiction, not to be misinterpreted, and whatever. It's pretty funny, like a copyright kind of thing.
The Book of Wally. No,
wait a minute. Doesn't Farscape have an RPG?
It did. I don't know if it's still active.
That was a really good show. I was surprised. That was a good show.
I liked it though. I didn't like the whole mental thing. That kind of. But I liked the whole idea. The other one, I thought
it was just a little too zany. Like it took its premise just a little too like.
This one would be a good one. Believe it or not, not just Johnny Quest, but the Herculoids, Space Ghost, all the Hanna-Barbera. One way or another, I could actually see.
Alex Toth, he did all the art for that. Fantastic.
I'm just thinking Hanna-Barbera. You're just playing. It's right
Toon?
there. The bear.
Captain Caveman.
Boo boo.
Okay, I'm gonna mention one here.
Josie the Pussycat.
Okay.
No.
What about Ghost in the Shell?
Yogi Bear?
Yogi.
Yogi.
Because he's an anthropomorphized bear.
Thundar is a great one.
Thundar.
Thundar. Yeah.
Well, Thundar you can do with the thing is that a lot of these you've got systems that can work in it. They just don't.
Lab.
Yeah, but I still think Ghost in the Shell would be excellent, but they don't have an RPG for it.
Really? I thought that'd be like a no-brainer. The Hair Bears. A Bionic Man, the role-playing game, that would be a good one. That would be Scooby-Doo is clearly a mutant dog. No, it's pretty much well summed up in the Venture Brothers. Shaggy is on meds, and
Scooby is an imagination.
Scooby and Shaggy are basically the son of Sam, basically kind of situation. Do any of you guys remember the old Steve Jackson game Toon?
Yeah, I remember.
No.
Cartoon.
It's literally a game where you role play Bugs Bunny type characters, and there are rules for being able to pull shit out of your ass just at the drop of a hat. I played it a couple of times.
I've never played
I wish I still had it. I wish I still had it because it was a pretty ridiculous game. But my boss at the first game store I worked at, he was like a really big fan of it. And mind you, he was like 60 years old back in the 80s, and he played like every game you can imagine. I mean, literally any game you can think of back then. Dukes of Hazzard, he played it.
That was a cool board game.
Yeah, you know what? That's apparently that's like Quentin Tarantino's favorite game.
Oh, really? It's a good board game.
Quentin Tarantino.
Because he's like a huge board game fan and collector. And I a friend of mine, well, you guys know him, Jade from Jade's Tabletop Tavern. He's got a pretty heavy duty collection of board games, but they're all like really, really new. And I'm like, dude, you ought to start looking into the old school stuff and turn that collection of yours into, something that's worth, a lot more, because a lot of these newer games just don't have the resale value. There's just no turnaround for,
that depends. Are you buying the game to invest? Or are you buying the game to play?
Not a matter of either, just for it to stay, not just relevant, but to not go down drastically in value. You know what I mean?
My biggest fear for board games nowadays is it's all becoming tech. You need apps and you need this shit. And it's just like, did I just lose my mind? I mean, board games are not, you're supposed to be, you pull it out and you play it on your table. You don't have to jack in and wire up and use apps and stuff, because like that shit's gonna fail. Those companies are going out of business eventually, and the servers are gonna go down, and that game ain't worth the shit. You can't even play it.
Well, I think it's okay.
But not too many. Even the ones that do have it don't necessarily require it.
Well, like I'm thinking of there's a Cthulhu one where you do these mysteries and you have to be online to play it.
See, I don't want that, because that's just a way for them to keep monetizing. The whole thing I want is.
Well, I think the app is free with the purchase of the game, but
it's free. But
as long as there's a way for you to do it with cards,
they disappear off the thing after a while. You're like, great, I can't find them anymore.
Yeah,
so there's another one, Das U-boat or Das Boat or whatever. It's like awesome. It's like an awesome, like you're a U-boat crew. And each player plays like the head of like the section of the boat, and
I was wondering about that one, Eli.
When you look up in the periscope, you use like your phone, and it's like you're viewing the periscope.
Okay.
But like you can't play that unless you have the app. So it's like eventually that's
sucks.
It's awesome. And the board is fantastic. The game is amazing and complex. And
right. But if you don't have that. Yeah, if you don't have the,
I understand having like, if there's what's that one you have on now with the miniatures and the society building?
What do you mean? That's you talk about the one I have. All I have is Total War. For
I thought you bought.
I have Scythe.
It's like Black
Ball. I want to play Scythe. Yeah, we should play Scythe, dude. I've never played that. I want to play that,
dude. It's not like I'm not 5 minutes away.
Get your ass over here. Let's play.
You're supposed to call me. Remember, I called you yesterday.
No. Oh, was I supposed to call you?
Yeah.
There's already trouble in paradise.
No,
man.
Anyway.
The dead one where you're.
Ooh, that's you know what, Grandma? I like that one. I like that one a lot. Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. I used to love watching that show.
Sequest.
Saturday. That was a good sequel type of thing to just keep it moving along. Showing that sort of great unexplored wilderness was still
Time Tunnel. Time Tunnel would have been
cool. Sliders.
Oh yeah,
Sliders.
Yeah. Sliders is a no-brainer. I mean,
here's the thing that I have a problem.
You could do a decent war game, like a tabletop war game with Sequest Season 3 there.
See, here's the problem I have with some of the IPs is they're very limited. And part of the reason I loved having sci-fi is you could go to a different world and encounter a whole new biome and everything else. So it always allowed itself to keep having unlimited adventures. And this is one of the reasons I got so pissed off at Star Trek. Dude, if your holodeck keeps failing or having a problem, you take it offline and never use it again. Okay?
Yeah.
And it's also lazy writing.
I'm assuming that failure is 1 out of 100 million uses.
Tries to take over the world. Don't ever use that thing again.
Not if it happens enough that I can see it every
if your holodeck can literally create problems that you can't freaking solve, and then has Moriarty running around in your ship trying to take it over, you got a huge problem. You need to shut that thing down and then remove them from all the rest of the Federation ships.
Oh, dude, I'd be totally addicted to the holograph, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'd
same
be
here,
there
same
as
here.
much as possible.
Well. So I'm going to bring up one that
Conan,
has an RPG, but it has a problem with it, which is because I feel it's too limited. Which is exactly Blade Runner. It's so limited. I'm like, it makes fine for like one shots. It doesn't seem like it'd be very good for any kind of campaign, in my opinion. And that's the problem with some of these IPs.
Unless you go off world, maybe.
Yeah, but there
hunting...
isn't enough in the IP itself to do that. Is what I'm referring to.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Well,
yeah,
that's why I liked the Total Recall TV series from the late 90s.
Total Recall could be good because you got all the mutants and stuff.
Well,
and
it wasn't Total Recall. It was Blade Runner.
I think I've seen that.
It was a cop procedural set in the Blade Runner world.
I really think I could run a Blade Runner. I could run a Blade Runner campaign between 1 to 4 times a month for a year. But then
I'd love to play as a silicate trying to get to Earth.
I know.
That would be cool. A small crew of silicants coming down and trying to, survive and outrun the cops.
Are there any good cop procedural role-playing games? Like,
there is one. I don't remember what the name of it. Somebody out there might. Hey, Charlotte, welcome to the show. There was one literally like cop role-playing game, and I can't remember what it was. I should go ask Tenkar. I'm sure he knows what it was. And that would be fun. Whether you're a cop on the beat, a detective, or even a PI, but a modern, game that was literally written by people who actually, worked the business, so to speak, worked the, the street, whatever, so that they could do a lot of the rules for some of the stuff that, normal people never see.
Well, the way you would do a good Blade Runner is you take that, give the guy a laser pistol, and have him go up against androids. Right? That's how you do that.
Glad you're here. Hey, Charlotte, I'm still waiting for those photos. I want to see how you painted those up. Grandma, that was the first one, one of the first ones Brian mentioned, Space Above and Beyond, and that wins. That's the greatest one we're going to talk about tonight.
The chigs look awesome. The Earthling stuff.
The simulants or whatever they were called.
Yeah,
the synthetic people. Yeah. I mean, you had it all in one. Ridiculously shortly cut. It should not have been cut so short. Hey, what's up, D-Ball?
Fox, man.
Yeah, Fox. Yep.
I'm going to mention this much because if we're going to be mentioning these things, how about a good Alien versus Predator?
There's no such thing.
I would rather just play Predator throughout history. We'll have Predators fighting the Egyptians in the desert.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm just mentioning, when you're going to do that because they had the whole storyline and everything else. But apparently, and this is the weird thing is, Alien, Blade Runner, and whether it's Outland, and then,
Outland,
of course, and Predator are all different IPs. So if you have the Predator IP that doesn't go to the Alien versus Predator IP, that's the weird thing.
Oh man. We've got Disney Aliens now. Disney owns the Alien IP, and they're coming out with Earth War TV show. So we're gonna have a Disney Alien TV show, Earth War.
It'll be.
It just sounds like a train wreck.
No. They're probably called. Well, let's see. Fox doesn't Fox have all those? Oh, if we're gonna speak about one that doesn't exist anymore, what about Indiana Jones?
They're making another one of those.
Well, they're gonna replace him with the new one. The girl is going to replace Indiana Jones and start a whole failed line of Indiana Jones.
Predator. Wow.
Well, Predator. They own what? Predator, Alien, but I don't know if they own the Alien versus Predator, which apparently it's their own separate IP. It's the if they can, Alien. That would be fine. What else did they have?
No one's going to mention Terminator then. I'll do it.
No, Terminator has an RPG.
Yeah, it has one.
It
killed that.
Wasn't it like Mayfair Games or something like that?
No, it's out now.
There used to be another one way back in the day the same company that made Dracula and some other game and miniature line way back in the day of actual lead miniatures.
Oh, Critters.
Critters is great. I love that.
Yeah.
Tremors, that'd be fun. Tremors.
Oh.
You know what?
I just watched
Charlotte,
tonight. I watched. What's that?
I'm looking at what Charlotte said. You're starting to sound like Magic the Gathering now. Where were they just Transformers versus G.I. Joe versus 40K?
Yeah, Charlotte's got a peg right here. Disney can now make a movie in which Mickey Mouse and Kermit the Frog team up with Hank Hill and Peter Griffin to fight Doctor Doom and Darth Vader.
Yes. Hey,
I would actually pay to see that.
It's called Magic the Gathering. Look at all of the IPs. They brought in G.I. Joe, Transformers. And you're like, what?
Dungeons and Dragons.
Yep. All of the same.
I've actually got the Dungeons and Dragons Magic the Gathering cards.
So we were talking about people freaking out about whatever the IP. I guess some game company can't. Games Workshop came out saying that they're going to be doing their 10th edition of 40K, right?
Yeah.
And some gaming company saw the trailer and said that, it looks like GW is going the line where Imperium Nazis are killing Tyranids. It might as well be the Nazis versus the Jews. I'm like, what the fuck?
What company said
He's
that?
equating the trailer, the new 40K trailer, that the Imperium of Mankind are the Nazis and their motivations or whatever.
None of their
Tyranids are considered the Jews. That's what they said.
Well. Here's the problem: it's a going for clickbait, so people will read on how stupid they are.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I'm just sitting there like.
Well, with education these days.
Wait a minute. Here's one: The Outer Limits from the '90s.
Oh yeah,
that was a good one where everything was slightly tied into each other.
And in Twilight Zone, if you could manage it, another one-shot type game engine where you definitely
don't want to live in the world where half the continent is taken over by Mars insects.
Yeah, I remember that. So yeah, the little like ant looking.
Well, they kept popping up periodically through the show. There would be news reports and stuff.
Oh, you mean the Shadow Kings or whatever they're called?
Yeah, I think it was the Shepherd Kings. Yeah, that was the first episode of it. Yeah.
Well, that was.
I was more a Twilight Zone guy.
Yeah.
Well, the
Twilight Zone. I thought that was Outer Limits.
Wait. The Outer.
The Outer Limits.
The 1990s was far superior to Twilight Zone for the last 30 years or so. I liked the old Twilight Zone, but it just never could recapture it after that.
Yeah.
Black and white's where it was, and anything past the black and white didn't do well. But the ones that they did in the 1990s, because I think it was done on Showtime, man, those are Showtime, excellent.
Outer Limits, that was good.
Yeah.
Outer Limits.
There was another one called like Windows or Broken Windows.
Night Gallery.
No, well, Night Gallery had some good ones, but there's another one that came out in the 90s.
Yeah, Tales from the Dark Side had some sci-fi stuff. I remember that.
Oh man, that had so much potential. Tales from the Dark Side. The first season was great, and then it just tanked. Just they had no budget, and it was just not good at all. Me and Mel just did a big marathon of that not too long ago.
I mean, there's some really cool things out there. Like I see people bring up Space 1999. The problem is that a lot of times we have to start cobbling different IPs together. It's the same reason I didn't buy the Walking Dead RPG. I want more variety in my opponents. That's part of the problem that I have with it is Alien allows you to go out towards other stuff. I'm like, that's fine because you go into different worlds, you can populate it, but we know that they go out in space for
I mean, you can
for
play
Blade Runner, but they don't talk about it. Yeah, but they don't talk about the Blade Runner. They reference it, but no one mentions it.
Yeah, that would have been. You know what? I actually, as an early DM, I stole a lot from that show as a kid.
What show?
Between the dinosaurs, the Slee Stacks,
Land of the Lost.
Enoch and his magical portal table. I freaking love that. Those crystals, put two together. And that was the only thing I wasn't a big fan of. But
I'm going to think
you
of
like
one.
Chaka?
I just.
Oh God, no!
Kid?
Anytime they put a little kid thing in there, I just wanted to turn it off as a kid. I'm like, sorry, that's my whole.
So pulp, sci-fi. I guess we're sticking with sci-fi, but I mean, in my neck of the woods with the Weird War, like Tales of the Gold Monkey, that was a great show. Voyagers, remember they had that little like pocket watch and they travel throughout time.
Okay, yeah.
That was a cool show.
And I agree with Sean Cherry.
Going through the list there, Sean Cherry, to see which ones would make good, if not playable IPs on their own, at least have enough stuff to steal from to make like a 6-month mini campaign within a campaign. I was thinking of some stuff, like
what about,
like.
Go ahead.
Go for it.
I was thinking Stargate. Do they have an active RPG right
now?
Yeah, it does. It does.
They had one. I don't know.
They have. I'm wondering if it's an active one. That's what I'm asking.
I never really got into that show though. The actors that they picked, except for Daniel Jackson, he was the closest one, to David Spader. Where when I looked at him, I'm like, oh, he's trying to be that guy.
Well, like
Richard Dean Anderson did not equate with Kurt Russell. I'm just like,
Kurt Russell died. Didn't he die in the movie?
No,
right,
no.
I thought he blew up.
That's right. It doesn't matter. But I just couldn't, go, okay, that actor and that actor, they're supposed to be the same character. It just didn't work in my head. And then the way Richard Dean Anderson played that character was like, I just couldn't.
Well, he started off really
dark, no problem. But it was just.
He started off really dark for the first episode, right? And then he switched really quickly because they wanted a lighter tone to the show, and
but to be fair, at the end of the movie, he lightens up.
What's that, QC Writer?
They're supposed to try to do this sort of like internal resolution thing in the movie or something. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. It happened too quickly. It happened too quickly emotionally.
Soldier would have been cool. Soldier, the Kurt Russell movie, that would have been cool.
Yeah, there's
wasn't that also set in the Enemy Mine universe?
That would have been good.
Enemy Mine.
Yeah, Enemy Mine would be a pretty good one, I think.
I'm pretty sure they're supposed to be in the same universe, and I could easily see work in that. But I mean, you'd have to literally do so much more of the work on your own, I think. To really push it out. What?
Last Starfighter, dude.
Yeah. Yes.
That would be dude.
Maybe because there's multiple aliens in there. You can do a lot probably for that one in certain ways.
You could do a dozen different species, which means a dozen.
Oh, wait a minute.
Codan Armada.
Wait a minute. What was the one that was it was really bad. Was it Battle of the Stars or whatever?
Okay, Grandma, you're gonna have
to. You mean
to
Star Chase?
No, it was
no. You want to do one on Star Chase? I know you, man.
No, it's not called Star Chase. It's the Battle of the Stars, which was like Seven Samurai in space.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but you were talking about Star Chase when.
Grandma, I have never heard of this one. Apparently, Brian has, but
Barrels of Pauline. Yeah. The girl that drove the pink car. Or you could do the Perils of Gwendolyn.
That's what it is. Battle Beyond the Stars is what I was referring to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried watching that movie a couple weeks back. That's the one with John Boy Walton in it. I can't remember his name. Right?
Yeah. Yes, but all I remember is it has the one from the Magnificent Seven is one of the playing the same one.
And the spaceship with the giant.
Yeah,
I
don't think that was intentional.
Was that
that model got used in a lot of movies?
No, that was actually Battle
Beyond the Stars is what
Beyond
the movie was called.
Yeah. Star Crush was what's Star Crush? Star Crush was the Dan O'Bannon and John Carpenter film, like their student film, where they like their whole job was to destroy rogue planets. It's like a comedy. It's like they're like Dan O'Bannon was the guy who wrote Aliens and like Return of the Living Dead and all sorts of crap. And then John Carpenter. That was their student film, and they made it a movie. I think that's what Star Crush was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. We watched it just the other week. It was great. What are you talking about? Uh-oh, guys, we have it. We control Shadow and Sun. This is the time. This is the time for the people to rise up.
You know what?
Throw the yoke off.
The one that hasn't been mentioned, and I've been thinking about since before the show, because I actually watched not just the movie, but the TV show, Logan's Run. I think you can do that.
Run, yeah, that was cool.
Logan's Run.
I like the idea of it. It's one of those. Sometimes you have to mash different TV shows all together to get one good IP.
Well, think about it. You could run Logan's Run, as either a runner or a Sandman.
Yeah.
You could even get some of that paranoia game aspects into it, if you really wanted to.
Paranoia.
You could run it as a community builder for establishing the outside community after the city.
Right, and then
you could do like a hidden community or something. Yeah.
Because the TV show ran I want to say 1 or 2 years.
I think it was just one season.
It was just one season. But you could still do that whole thing after the escape from the city, and you could even have stuff having to do with the other cities, and then maybe you get some turmoil and some conflict there, and eventually
I don't think
maybe
there was
even
any other cities.
I can see Planet of the Apes. I can see
Oh,
Planet
yeah.
of the Apes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely Planet of the Apes.
Is this for me? I'm not hungry.
I'm going to
Making
think
me
of.
pop-
Okay, has anyone actually read the manga stuff for Akira?
the manga stuff.
No,
I just seen the movie.
Well, the movie truncated, like 95% of everything in there. But it was that one could be pretty cool. And to be fair, that's a cyberpunk aspect for the whole thing.
Last time I mentioned that was cyberpunk. Both of you guys said it wasn't.
Who was it? I didn't say it was cyberpunk.
You did, so you can go back and look at the is it punk or not video.
Well, you know what? Now that you say that,
it is most definitely.
I don't think it is because it's like mystical. Well, not mystical. It's like mutations and shit.
Yep.
Yeah, but it's done.
With the psychic power.
A little of both there, John. A little bit of both.
The guys pulling in.
I just remember
cybernetics and stuff.
I remember that scene where the typists were typing and then like their fingers opened up and like 50 different little like fingers came out.
Wasn't that Ghost in the Shell?
That's Ghost in the Shell.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
Yeah.
That's right.
But
another
also
anime was
I remember that.
Venus Wars. That was cool. Like big
Venus
tanks,
Wars. Yeah.
And like the unicycles with the cannons on them. That was a cool
Tank Police.
I know of Tank Police, but I don't know anything about it.
You should watch it. You should watch it.
I'm familiar with it, but I didn't really watch. Well, see, the problem is some of them, like whether it's Gundam or things like that, it's like okay, but it went way too far. Well, I mean, Robotech was more grounded in some of the other ones, where it's like this is invulnerable to it.
Just trust me. Give the first episode or two of Tank Police a shot. It's in English. It's all been dubbed. So
I've watched some of it. Okay, it's just
know what? I think I might even have a copy of Terra Primate. I'll have to go look through my boxes.
Star Blazers had a great space combat game.
I wish I would have never got rid of it, Brian. I wish I would have never got rid of it.
And they had a great line of minis too, man.
Yep.
The Gamelon. I love the Gamelon ships, dude. Those things are badass.
You know what I like better than those, though, Brian, was they had these model kits that came in these little tiny boxes that were about 4 times the size. I've still got like 20 or 30 of them, and I started using them to build my own ships because I was getting them for like $250 a pop, in bundles of 10 or 20 model kits because they were like a really big thing that was like dirt cheap even when it came out even decades later. Now they're like $10 a piece, which isn't so bad when you're going to come up with a ship model about this big. But I was using them for my own RPG sci-fi games, and with a little bit of work, you could assemble them differently and make your own ships. But yeah, that was some.
I was really
the miniature
tempted.
game though. That thing is worth a fortune
Okay.
if you can find that game.
I was really
Good
tempted
luck.
to get into the Honor Harrington game, but
I'm
what?
gonna mention.
Honor Harrington, there was
I don't know what that
it
is.
was a book series.
I'm gonna mention.
Killdozer, anyone?
Wait a minute.
Killdozer.
I would definitely play the Killdozer game in
Wait a minute.
real life.
Epic.
Hold it. Ready Player One.
That wasn't bad.
No,
That was
I'm
fun.
saying because you can bring in everything from that. How in the world they got
That's
all
true.
of those different IPs together?
Well,
Tron?
It's wheeling and dealing.
yeah.
It was
think there's a
Spielberg
Okay,
though, too. I'm
Donner,
sure that
Donner,
speaks a
you
lot.
know damn well you and I are the only people who ever saw that. Okay?
What?
Does
Where have
anybody
all the
else
people
remember
gone?
that? Yeah.
Is it a movie?
You
Show?
and I- it was like a made-for-TV movie. It was really kind of dark for the time, basically like a solar eclipse or something. And everybody who wasn't like underground or indoors,
Night of the
their
Comet?
bodies got something like that, but their bodies turned to like white powder.
Yeah, it's
and
Night
there's
of the
only,
Comet.
like,
No, this is a different movie.
Oh, okay.
because Night of the
Look
Comet,
up
everybody
now.
turns into zombies.
No, well, some people do, but most of them turn into like ash.
Or maybe that it was
Yeah.
inspired by Where Have All the People Gone? But yeah, it's on your DVD, right, dude? Really?
Dude, I'll
I've
have to
gotta
look
see
that up.
man.
Yeah,
Where
because
have all the
Oh.
people been?
I'm sorry.
This
You
movie's
mentioned Space
came out in
Vampire. Why don't
74.
we do Life Force then?
Life
Oh,
Force.
dude,
Space
Life
Vampire.
Force.
Life
Epic.
Force.
Epic.
Yeah, Vampire Hunter
There-
D would work.
Shut up.
There's a small compilation of scenes from that movie
I
that I have
never
edited
heard
together
anybody
and
ever
play on
say
loop.
No, you shut up.
I
agree
tell you,
with
me and
Charlotte.
my woman,
Starship
she
Troopers
just-
would be cool. I think, yeah.
Isn't
Starship
it?
Troopers
Well,
would
I
be
know
cool.
it's got the miniature game, but an RPG would be. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, man, we're
Yeah.
playing that.
Well, no. We're doing the knockoff.
You guys are playing a knockoff of Starship Troopers?
Yeah,
That's what we're doing on Fridays.
Okay.
it's pretty fun.
When did that start?
Using the GURPS
yeah.
engine with
Probably about 2
Bo
months
and
ago.
Mark from Mark's
Okay.
Genre
I totally
Mixer.
missed that.
Oh, Life Force. Whew.
I only
Good
mention
stuff.
that because if we're going to do that, is the you have space vampires, you got the zombies, and
It was a good story too. I thought it was a good story. It was a great
Yeah.
movie. I thought. I mean, Cannon knocked it out of the park right there. It was great.
I'm surprised that didn't give them the funding to be a first.
Well,
studio.
Toby Hooper,
Okay, Grandma, I almost forgot about this
Blake
one.
Seven.
This one was great.
late
This
seven.
This one would be. Oh my god! I would live stream that one. That
Oh
one
my
was
God.
so much.
Or
Especially
was
if
it
you
Earth
play it.
2? Remember that?
No, if you play
Oh,
Blake
Earth
7,
2 was
though,
bad.
if you played Blake 7, you'd have to play it from the beginning of the last episode.
Oh man.
To
I don't
Space
know.
find out.
1999 might be fun.
I'm going to mention one that I saw this in there, and they're mentioning Starship Troopers. Let's not forget Time Enough for Love if you're going to go for that whole arc, which he had a fair amount of in his universe.
Wasn't that a Highline?
It's Heinlein, yeah.
Time Enough for Love. Is that what it's called?
Time
Yeah,
Enough
that
for
was a good
Love.
series, man.
It started
Okay.
combining, like he kind of interconnected a lot of his different stories all together. But if we're going to mention
Mm-hmm.
it, that's the one. I mean, don't get me wrong. The book's pretty weird when he starts
What was
getting
the
towards
guy's
the
name
end.
again? The redheaded dude.
Lazarus Long
Yeah.
and the
Lazarus.
Methuselah's children. He did several in those. So, yes, Squirrel Hermit, Spaceballs would be a lot of fun.
Baseball.
There's
Well-
was it James Stakely's Armor? Have you ever read Armor?
Mm-mm.
Oh, it's fantastic. He's the guy who also wrote
Armor is good.
Vampires.
Yeah.
Carpenter
Yeah.
did a movie of vampires, but yeah, Armor's epic.
Armor. Even Vampire would be a good.
Yeah, Vampires would have been cool.
But yeah, Armor. I don't know.
Ice Pirates. Yes, there we go.
Oh, yeah.
Only
That's
if,
it.
Damn. I watch that like every week.
only if every
Really?
third session
I have never
the
seen
DM
that one.
had to roll
I've
for
literally
the
never seen that
crotch muncher.
Robert Urich and a young Perlman and a young it's not Cher, it's Angelica Houston's in it.
Oh, really?
They have the one from Dallas, I think. Also, I can't remember her name.
Oh yeah, she was in all the like soaps and
As
stuff.
Spaceship
Yeah.
Will Travel. A lot of the original, the early Heinlein, even though his writing it was kind of juvenile. I could
Well, they call
see
them juveniles.
right. I think I could see doing that. Using that style for like a younger audience. Getting them into the more R's for Rocket Ship and all those. I actually read a lot of them as a kid, and I used a lot of that stuff, for my early traveler. I could see, use Dark Matter. Oh,
Dark
dude.
Matter, yeah.
Oh, that
Now,
was
what was the other one that was at that time?
Flight of the Navigator.
Dark Matter pisses me off because
Oh.
it ended. That series got canceled right when it was about to get not good, not great, but whatever the next word after great is, greater. Oh, it was,
Epic, or
yeah, there you go.
What-
Yeah,
what show?
it was about to become
Dark
epic.
Matter.
Yeah,
Dark Matter. I don't think I've seen that one.
Yeah,
it's still on.
worth a
Like,
watch.
I think it's
So,
still on Netflix.
Mel's adding one. This is Mel's contribution. Flight of the Navigator.
I don't even remember that.
That's right, baby. I love you.
I'm just waiting for her to throw a pie at you.
No. That's from the movie.
Yeah, Westworld. Yep. Yeah,
Oh,
they firefight it. Westworld would be Westworld and Future World. All four worlds, so to speak, would give you
Just
enough to
watched
work
the
with.
second Westworld, Future World.
Yeah, with Peter
The
Fonda.
far superior movie.
Wait a minute. They had a series that apparently was good for the season 1, and then they just blew it.
Oh my god, the first season
No
was
surprise.
good, man. Then it just tanked.
I watched the first season. I think I watched
The
part
story of so many series, dude. Remember another great series that ended before its time? It's not
We do
sci-fi,
the
but Carnival. You guys ever watch Carnival?
I have
Oh,
the seasons.
man,
Yeah.
loved it. That was great.
Riverworld would work. Riverworld would work. I love
Ringworld.
I think it was the Sci-Fi Channel. I liked
War
it
of
a
the
lot.
Worlds TV show.
The one from the
First
90s.
I remember
Yep.
that from the early 90s. War of
The
the
one where
Worlds.
they're
love that
prying
show.
they're prying the Martians out of the barrels.
Yeah, they're in the barrels. Yeah, I thought that was a cool show.
Yeah.
First season, second season sucked. It was weird. It's like
I'd have
some
to watch it
post-apocalyptic thing.
The
Oh,
even grandma says,
what was that?
even
one with,
grandma says
Kevin
no.
Oh,
Even
Andromeda?
grandma, that was a good one.
the
Even grandma
ship
says
with,
no. The Flight of the Navigator.
So
Sorry,
the
Mal.
RPG grandma said no to Flight of the Navigator, baby. Sorry.
No, what was the one with Kevin
The-
Sorbo in it?
Oh,
Andromeda.
Andromeda was good.
Yeah.
It was actually pretty
Yeah, it
good.
was.
I
Yeah.
enjoyed
The
it.
last season was really weird, but yeah,
Well,
it was good.
Yeah.
what's her name was pregnant and they
Had to
really
wrap
didn't
it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and Mel, we watched the Hercules marathon. Oh my god.
Hercules.
It was- Woo! Yeah.
You
It
really
was
are
fun.
a
It was
fan of
fun.
it.
But it was a rough one.
Hey, you know what?
There's a reason why they don't make them like that anymore.
I'd probably watch it just for Callisto. I'm
But
there.
you know, the actress, she did that. This is painful. Cleopatra 2020, 29. Oh my
Right,
god!
with Tina Torres was in that, right?
It was
Um,
just insane. That was a rough one to watch.
I'll
too.
never get over the episode of Hercules where they're obviously fighting on a jungle gym, and there's just a
Yes.
plastic jug that's like from Walmart on screen.
Dude, it was bad.
It was like focused
Wow.
right on it too. It was
We intend to watch Xena, but it's the same producers and stuff, and I'm just like, I don't
Right.
know, baby.
Well,
I can only do one of these things a year.
Yeah, well, you know what?
Yeah,
I had girlfriends
Xena's-
that love Xena and they love Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and maybe that just says something about my choice in women. But
Buffy was at least fun.
You know, it's like my ex-wife was a huge Buffy fan, dude, and I did not like it. She showed me one where like the main I wasn't into it, and she showed me like a couple episodes. So she showed me the one where like the teacher's like a giant bug. I'm just like laughing at it. And then she showed me another one where I don't know what it was. I just like, this is the stupidest show, and her people are just like roadblocks. Like all of her friends are roadblocks for the bad guys for her to get ready to do whatever she does. But I have to admit, I enjoyed Angel.
Angel
That was pretty good. I enjoyed the Angel show.
Wasn't my thing. I'm going to mention the other one if we're going to. Oh, I just forgot. Which
Hey,
actually,
does this one sound familiar to anybody? What was the name of the cartoon show that was the Odyssey in Space? Ulysses something, I think. I don't remember
just
that.
Ulysses.
There was, I think there was a Ulysses TV show, like a cartoon, but wasn't it like an animated one, like an anime?
Yeah.
So I never watched it, I don't think.
Well, I know this is kind of more, modern. Does gargoyles count as our sci-fi?
Man, there's a huge
urban fantasy.
Some people
I
love
don't know
that
if it
stuff,
counts
like
as sci-fi,
religiously.
but it would definitely make a good RPG.
I think there was one. To be honest with you, I want to say I saw one
Because they had elements between the two. That's what I was just asking.
I'm
gonna. I mean, let's see if there's any other.
I like me some urban fantasy, man. So there's no problem with that. Give me some.
Some gaming news, real quick, guys. The guy who created Catan died. Settlers of Catan.
Mm-hmm.
He passed away.
Oh man, I didn't like it, but I played a lot of it.
Okay, so, it's like, oh, that's not good. Oh yeah, that game sucked. So there is a Disney's Gargoyles. I'm looking at Board Game Geek here, and there's Disney Gargoyles: The Awakening in 2021, and it's a what is it?
It's a board game, right? That's what you're saying.
Board Game Geek has board games, RPGs, miniature board gaming. Yeah, it looks like a board game.
I'm going to mention one that I haven't played, but everyone says is really good. But it sounds interesting. Again, if we're going to talk about it, was ISIS Vanguard. I haven't played it, but a lot of people say it's really good.
Never heard of it.
What's it about? Like
ISIS Man Cave?
Vanguard.
Vanguard. Dude, my ears are for shit. ISIS Man Cave is what I heard. I'm like, what the? That's kind of awesome, but I've heard that shit.
You'd have to go to like Pakistan for that.
Yeah, it's like ISIS Man Cave. Wow, that's interesting.
Isn't that like a contradiction in terms, like an oxymoron?
ISIS Man Cave?
Not really. If you think where they're at in Afghanistan, they're all hiding in caves.
31. I'm writing that down, Charlotte.
The problem with ISIS Man Caves is there's no rest of the house.
That's it. So Charlotte says it was called Ulysses 31.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I had to write that one down. I'm getting some good notes from this one. Hey, you guys weren't here earlier, but Omen and I, when we were starting the show, my son, I said, hey, you want to join? And he's like, this is the most convoluted topic you've ever come up with, and we've been laughing our asses off for a good almost hour and a half now. He missed out.
We need to come up with rules.
The other ones were easy. You've got thousands of books about science fiction where you can just troll from.
Omen, do you own anything on your walls, dude? Because all I see is blank walls in your house.
Well, you know what?
I'm gonna send you some posters.
Well, you're correct. Well, I haven't hung any of them up. I've got some really nice Afghan rugs I can put up on the walls, but
definitely ISIS Man Cave then.
Here we go. That's one of the ones I like there for, I like some of the stuff in there, but Part of it is that I don't know. Maybe I don't want to pretend that I'm going to be here forever, even though I've been here for 4 years.
It's like I don't want to unpack because I'm not sure if I'm gonna stay here 5 years later.
Okay, here's one. I don't know if you guys know because someone mentioned books, and we haven't really mentioned books because a lot of the great books have been turned into movies and TV shows. But one that hasn't, that was really, really good and had a really fun universe was the Stainless Steel Rat.
Oh, I could not.
Just for you all there.
Flush, yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah, I can
Inside-
play that.
I have the
can play that.
soundtrack, man. I have
Saw
the
that in
soundtrack.
I can play that one.
I did
And
not like
signed by
Steel Steel
by Flash himself. So and he's a big guy. I can say this. I'm 6'2".
Sam, what's his name?
Sam Jones.
Sam
Jones is my height. He's not. Like sometimes they lie about the height. He's a big guy.
Didn't they have to dub over half his lines or something like that?
Yes.
Yeah, he didn't
There's
do a
someone
lot.
else do it too.
No,
Yeah,
wasn't he on I'm trying to think of what we just mentioned was the Stargate.
That would not shock me. Those shows like that
Probably is a cameo.
really try to pull in people from those one shot movies that were pretty epic, kind of like the way the CW tries to pull in actors, like when they were doing the Flash, they pulled the guy who.
How is that channel afloat, dude? Because
It is.
all
It's
that
bankrupt.
stuff is crap.
It's absolutely bankrupt. It's
Which
only
one?
been kept around
I'm
for
just like-
the narrative.
Which one?
What?
The CW.
Oh, CW was bought out by Warner Brothers, wasn't it?
He saves every one of us.
Um,
Nice, Charlotte.
it has not made a dime since they canceled the Gilmore Girls. That tells you how bad their programming has been.
Well,
I know what that.
I don't know the
Yeah.
first the first three. I'm gonna go with the first 3 seasons of the Flash, and
No, it
apparently
didn't turn a profit on those either. The
Really?
network was in the hole for all of it since
Really?
around 2005.
There was something where they brought that out, whereas I think the first couple seasons,
not
it was
even
doing okay,
Supernatural.
and then it would just went. Pfft.
That was the only thing keeping them going, and they were
Supernaturals.
still in the red for the whole time.
And listen,
Wow.
and that's another thing of like Supernatural is a perfect example. It's a cool show, right? If they did like Monsters of the Week all the time, but they had those big, massive series stories. But like when you like peak in like 3rd season of the Apocalypse, where do you go? Then you go like, oh, you meet God, and then his like evil sister, and then you're like, okay, where do you go from there? I mean, it's just
but
like,
they made it work.
I don't know, man. It was getting
I watched
really
some
out
of
there.
it, but
was.
at the end of the day, if we're going to mention some of
Baseline the whole series. Like,
it was,
when it was over, I
okay. At a
watched
certain
the
point,
beginning.
it feels too Hollywood. I actually like something that's more. How do I want to
I
say?
like the Monsters of the Week. They were
Yeah.
monster hunters, so they wouldn't do it and do their thing. But I mean, and I like the angel guy. I can't remember his name, but yeah, I mean, but yeah, I don't know. They went so big so quickly. It's like, okay, yeah, if I stop the Apocalypse,
so
I-
quickly, 20 or 21 seasons, something like that.
Well, no.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but some of it I've noticed because I've talked to some of my friends. Well, he's cute. I'm like, the story's terrible. Yeah, but he's cute.
But
I'm
he's
like,
cute, yeah.
Okay, well, good luck there. You won't keep on. You won't keep something on like Constantine, but you'll keep on something like Supernatural.
Yeah.
Constantine was a great series, and they can.
That
I guess,
was.
12
was
episodes,
good.
and it stayed true to the book. It stayed true to the
Yeah.
comic.
I was a
Well,
fan
for
of
the
the
most
comic.
part. They
The movie
could have
was
put a
good too. I
couple
thought
of
they did
cigarette
good
burns
on the
into his
movie,
shirt.
too.
I'm not saying they couldn't have him smoke on the show. Just put a couple of holes in his goddamn shirt.
It doesn't matter. No. I'm saying the show they kept it pretty good for the whole.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. No, it was too gritty. It felt a little too dark. I'm like,
That's the point.
That's the comic, man. It's like, The Walking Dead would have been great if they followed Kurtzman's just comic.
Yeah.
Right.
Just follow the story in the comic, man, and it would have been fantastic. But they just went freaking nuts.
But there'll be spoilers. Yeah, that's okay. That's fine.
Just read the
Alright,
comic.
man.
Go watch the show. Yeah. There's
I
a
don't wanna read the
beginning and an
comics.
ending in the comic, and there's
Yeah.
it's great.
Okay. If we're going to talk about sci-fi, one that I don't think has a lot of legs, but I still love the atmosphere is Mad Max.
Mad Max, yeah.
You know what?
That's a fun show. It's a fun.
You know, if
It's a
you
fun
team
world,
that
but-
up, if you team that up with like Tank Girl, Cherry 2000, and a couple other movies
Cherry
like that,
2000.
That's awesome.
Fantastic.
you'd be able to make it work for at least a year's worth of a campaign.
Oh,
Now, I mean,
like a lot of these is
How do you just
you have to
team it
find
up
something
with
that has a
Star
really
Wars?
in-depth IP. Otherwise, you got to steal from a bunch of different IPs in most cases.
Right.
The fact,
Yeah.
right. One of the things I was thinking when I came up with this idea is that there are a lot of like these one-shot movies or limited run TV shows that would actually go really well together. You know, I always bring up, you know, because I brought up Harry Harrison's Stainless Steel Rat, but he also worked on 2 out of the 3 of Silent Green, Silent Running, and Rollerball. I would have to go and find out which one.
Rollerball school.
Okay, all 3 of
Rollerball.
those movies are like part of the same like trilogy. If you watch them in the right order, those 3 movies, you know, tell a a very bleak idea of what Earth is
I mean,
going to be, or
Silent
could
Runnings
easily-
was like that was rough because some guy, some hippie, you know, and don't get me wrong, I understand why he did it. He just offs the whole crew, you
Yep.
know, just like sorry guys, you're dead. Doesn't even talk. Doesn't really make the case either, and he just offs everybody. 'Cause
right,
he loves the
and
trees.
including himself.
What was the
Including himself
purpose?
in the end.
What was the purpose for shutting down the space station that was self-sustaining?
They just wanted
was
the
cost.
ships back. Yeah, they wanted
It
the
was
ships
cost.
back, and they didn't
Yeah.
give a shit about the planet and the
Trees.
food. But
Yeah.
but if you then tie that in, you know, have that going on at the same time as Soylent Green is playing, it makes sense. You know, they're just
Yeah.
going to
But
go,
Soylent Green
we
was
don't need the
great.
plants anymore, you know, and then
Well,
you
I
can
can't
put
wait
either-
until all you boomers are put down to feed the Xers. I'm just saying.
I'm an extra man. I don't
Shut
know.
up! You got gray beard. You're a boomer now.
Shit.
You're getting fed to the Xers.
And then, like I was saying with Rollerball, that's either like
Great.
when it's good, when society is good, you're at Rollerball, and then it starts getting bad, and you go into Silent Running and Soylent Green, or it gets better, and it's actually in Rollerball can be the
Yeah,
end.
You start.
Roller-
You start
Rollerball can be turned into like a Death Race 2000 too.
Yeah.
That could
You
be in the same
You
world
start,
as
up,
well.
you start your campaign mourning the loss of Rollerball, and your goal is to bring Rollerball back.
You campaign to bring it back. It's like we can't bring it back because all the players are dead.
The height of bringing back civilization is Rollerball.
hey, we watched Ben-Hur. Anyway, the whole thing that we can go for is let's do the opposite. We're all talking about stuff to make great RPGs. What things would make great movies from the opposite side?
Paranoia would make a good one right off the bat. I think Paranoia would make for a great, goofy, hardcore, you know, kind of sci-fi movie. Kind of a
Twilight
mix between-
2000.
Yeah.
2000.
Yeah.
That would be a
Wait,
great.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You just need
Absolutely.
you just need maybe 40 people and a tank or an
That's it.
APC
Call
or
of
something like
Cthulhu.
that.
No one has yet to do Call of Cthulhu right on the big screen. Just saying.
You know,
Hey,
well,
Brian,
Well, no
we
one's
already
done.
have Twilight 2000.
Man.
It's called the Ukraine War.
yeah. Well, you know, I think there's
Nice,
two
though.
great Cthulhu movies, In the Mouth of Madness, and probably Dagon.
Dagon.
Those are
Dagon
great films.
was. Oh man, that was that
What
was a
about the
good
new?
one. Possibly the best, but it was so depressing. I mean,
Yeah, it's a
I don't know,
bummer.
man.
But that's
What-
That
That's
girl
do you
was
guys-
just freaking gorgeous.
What do you
That
guys
guy's
think
wife
about the?
Was just stunning. To think that she got, you know, fed to the Cthulhu among other things, just
Yeah.
that gave me nightmares.
yeah, but it's a
And welcome
happy
to the
ending.
show, Hungar.
You know,
Hungar. You're still alive.
I'm glad you recovered from your stroke there. They let you go. So
I was on call with him when he went out.
Oh, really?
Kind of agree. Yeah.
Sorry to hear that. Better you than me, man. I was on the stream when Deej had his heart attack. I mean, I left, and then he had his heart attack. I had just met the guy. We were streaming together, hanging out like really early in the morning because he was doing like a 32-hour stream, just 32 hours, And I just met him, and I'm like, dude, it's like 2:00 in the morning. We're hanging out, and I'm like, dude, I got to get some sleep, man. And then I find out the next day he had a freaking heart attack. So I was just like, wow, dude, I don't even want to come back on your show anymore. I feel like a black cat,
Well, you know me, I sleep once a week for about 30 minutes.
I've never seen Color Out of Space, and
that's the one I was about to mention.
That's good. That's good. The remake?
Yeah, I was about to mention that when.
Well, because I kind of like Nick Cage, even though most people can't stand him. I kind of like him. I don't know why.
People that don't like Nick Cage need to find a lamppost and some rope.
So they can hang him?
No.
There was a in the 90s. They did The Color of Space, but it was called The Curse, and it had the guy that played Wesley Crusher in it. Will Wheaton
no wonder I didn't see
was
it.
a kid.
Wait. Of all the people that should have a rope,
I enjoyed it.
Post.
Definitely. I do not think he likes Nicolas Cage, and I'm willing to help him with.
Yeah, we're glad you were awake too, there, Hungar.
Yeah,
Hungar, man, you need to make those phone calls when you kick off, dude. You need to. Hey, thanks for coming to the funeral, man. I enjoyed that red dress.
Yeah, I saw that video too. I don't like talking about it because I don't want to see Hungar. I don't want to see that day, but it is pretty funny. And the sucky part about it is, you live in Florida, I'm in California. The likelihood that I'll be able to come and visit you, man, I'll definitely send flowers, but being able to just,
I'll send D20s, just a big sack of D20s.
I'm sending a Jack in the Box with his face. That way,
You know what? So
they already make those.
And this is like levity. We're talking about real serious subjects. But have you guys ever thought about what you want your collections to have? What's going to happen? Have you?
Dude, I hear about it every goddamn day. I hear about it from I'm gonna get rid of some stuff. And then I'm going to put the choice materials in a bunker somewhere. And that way my son won't have to, pay, storage and all that crap. Because, we probably, every one of us or most of us have especially Omen and myself, have a collection that, I want my son to get it, but I don't want him to be saddled with, a monthly payment and having to go check on it, every month or every week or whatever, while he's trying to do college or the military. So I'm going to have to, whittle it down to the choicest of choicest materials that, are going to mean something to him. And if not, be worth a crap ton of money. Because I've got a $50,000 collection of Magic the Gathering cards that, if it disappeared, someone stole it, I wouldn't bum out that much, but I would rather just, hurry up and sell it. But trying to sell it as a seller to another seller, no thanks. I don't want to just get 10 grand for it, if I'm lucky,
Well, I tell you, I belong to the Miniature Soldier Society here in Ontario, and every time one of these old guys knocks off, there's just a feeding frenzy on his collection. So.
Hey, because I believe it or not, Justin, I've been buying people's collections for years. That's partially where I get my thing. And a buddy came to me with there's a game store that's looking at, the owner is getting ready to, go on to the next adventure. And, I've been given the opportunity to possibly buy it, but it's like over 1,000+ miles away from where I live. And I'm like, I used to live there. I don't want to live there again. I mean, I suppose I could if things were a little bit different, but you know, how am I going to transfer all that crap back over here? You know, only knowing that, knowing that I just want to then move it to freaking Texas. You know what I mean? It would be better.
Think about it. If you buy these collections, store it, and then open up that shop, dude, and you have this massive. If I was to open up a shop, it wouldn't be the same. It'd be like everything. I'd buy people's collections and sell it piecemeal. What? I mean, I don't know, dude. It's like you cannot compete with online sellers with product that's new. So don't try. Sell the old shit. You know, put these collections together. You know, put these games together. Piece it out and sell it to collectors. You know, shit. Like the old comic books back in the day. People buying back issues. You know, everybody can sell, you know, the current stuff. It's the stuff that's hard to find that people will start paying money for. I want a game store like that, dude.
You know what? There's a couple of good comments here. My kids will split up my stuff. I have 8 kids. Crafting says he's going to have someone do a live stream giveaway. And then Squirrel says, man, the kids will probably end up selling it anyway. We'll be dead. We will not care. I will care. I will be looking down from heaven, looking at my boy going, what are you doing? That's worth 5 times that, you know?
Well, that's the thing, right? Like,
everybody.
We get these people coming in, like the children and the grandchildren, and they'll be selling something that should have gone for $300-$400 for like $20.
Yep.
And it's like that's
what
you
put on it.
I'll pay you.
That's why what I've done is I've already got it in my head that when I start getting to a certain point, I'm gonna bag up, you know, like comic books, my books, and I'm gonna put a price tag on it. You know what I mean? That's inflated for the future. It's like, do not sell this for less than $1,000. You know what I mean? You know, or a bookmark in the book saying, do not sell this for less than $1,000. And yes, my 42-year-old AD&D DMG will go with me to Valhalla, though. Yeah, I've got a player's handbook.
Burn it all.
That I'm getting buried with or cremated with. I've had this since day one. It's got 2 kinds of tape on it. I can almost bend it into a tube. You know, it's hardback.
Definitely have that thing rebound, man.
I've got 4 other. I've got 4 other copies
in Texas that you can be buried on your own property. So, you know, talk to my archaeologist friend. So my whole goal is to set up.
Take care, Hungar. We love you, man. We'll see you hopefully Monday. Have a happy Easter, and make sure you give your brother a bump in the shoulder for us, okay?
Yeah. Death from above. God damn it.
Well, that's called lightning. Anyway, the
Mars needs women. You know what? I just watched that. That's funny, Grandma. I didn't watch it. I listened to the audiobook. Sorry, I was thinking of something else.
I was thinking about it. I just want a big giant funeral pyre, you know, like they did in, you know, put me up on the thing. Just put all my books underneath and just torch it. So all your collections can go up. That's right.
No. I want to go out like the Egyptians. I want a pyramid.
Bury it.
Yeah, that sounds. I like that idea better. You know, don't want no fancy funeral. Just want like old King Tut.
Yeah, old King Tut. All my treasures around me.
Yeah, anybody remember that song?
Which one? No. I care. That's all I need.
Steve Martin. Come on, guys. Steve Martin, King Tut. Nobody remembers that but me.
Oh yeah.
Okay, come on. Okay, come on. Grandma, back me up here. I mean, that's going back. I was like, yeah, I'm younger than Jackie when I was getting the Steve Martin albums, and I got my first one for Christmas, and that was my absolute favorite Christmas present that year. And my parents are, you know, then they listen to it and go, they're like, this might be a little bit Steve Martin.
I never got him.
He was a classy dude. He really was.
Yeah.
So I think Grandma mentioned Mars Needs Women, right? That was an awful movie. But anyway, I run a con game where it's Venus Needs Men, and what it is I have a game where
I remember that episode
in Venus, the women, the men can't like impregnate the women. They're like these big monsters, right? So they have to fly to Earth and get breeding stock, and it happens to be during World War II. And anyway, but yeah, so I do a big kind of like a Venus. It's great.
You need to pick up Vintage Future RPG from Total Party Skills. You will love it. It's got all that sort of Mars Needs Women. Here, let me see if I can grab it real quick. It's just right here.
What needs a role-playing game? Lex.
Oh,
It's
the greatest Canadian German sci-fi show ever.
Well, the only one.
That's true.
Brian, listen to this. Man. Brian, listen to this. Vintage Future RPG by Total Party Skills contains the following. These are like adventures. Escape from Planet Matriarchy.
Yeah.
We Want Soviet Men. Rocket Cadets in the 11th Dimension. Ancient Egypt Conquers Mars, and Science of the Sphinx. Freaking love this. It's a super simple RPG, and Joshua has got quite the sense of humor. If you don't have it, grab it. It was a lot of fun. It really was.
After Hungar runs his game for a little while, if we take a break, you should run that for a group of us.
You know what? Maybe. There's some other stuff I want to get to first.
Well, just like a couple of one-shots or something like that.
Yeah, I can literally run these. It's got the rules and the adventures in it, and it's super simple. I mean, your character can fit on like half an index card.
Yeah,
literally.
That's the best kind of character sheet.
I'm going to try thinking of what was that
Matt,
one?
you got it too. Good job. Man, the RPG is hilarious too. I know I need to get a copy of that, but I don't buy PDFs unless they come with the book. If I can't get the book, I'm like, sorry guys.
Well,
if
can you order it print on demand?
You know what? I probably, but
there's no resale value.
No, it's not that. I don't mind that. I've got a lot of books that I hope never get resold. Yeah. No, I just I'm not familiar with the whole process of doing that. I've looked at like Lulu, and every time I look there for something, they say they don't have it, and I'm like, but I was told to go here, and I don't really like dealing with drive-through.
Drive-through doesn't carry men anymore. You have to go to the other.
No, I know.
There used to be a website. It's called the Archive.
Yep.
And do you remember the Archive? It's gone. Yeah, that had everything.
The Trove, yeah.
Does anybody know if that's resurfaced anywhere else?
No, because they kept killing it. And the guy who did Zweihander, and I understand at a certain point, you're selling your PDFs, and it had every PDF. But I'll tell you this much. When the Trove was up, I bought more books and RPGs during that time frame because I knew what I was getting. And I said, you know what? This looks like a good RPG. I'll buy it.
I'm gonna go buy
this looks like a good RPG. I'll buy it. It was, which I think that,
dude, the Trove was just amazing, dude.
That was before my time
with the Alien RPG and Conan.
I was literally not even on the internet when that was a thing. And then I hear these great stories about it. And I'm like,
it was like 2 or 3 years ago, and then they just whacked them all and knocked it down. But
I've literally only been socializing on the internet for the last just almost a year. It's coming up on my year anniversary. Other than that, I would watch YouTube videos, and we were making videos, but I literally had no idea what was going on in the community.
What it allowed you? It allowed you to play those modules and shit that you will never find ever. And if you do find them, you got to dump hundreds of bucks for them. But you play them, but because of this resource, so you can experience those the old timers you're talking about, whatever. Yeah. And you're like, I'm gonna play that, and you go to the Trove, download it, and you play it, and you're like, oh yeah, that was. I mean, that's what I dug.
Well, the Trove had stuff that was, whether it's Babylon 5 or something like that. Is okay. A lot of these things were out of print.
Oh yeah, most of them.
Not all of them were. This was before they started. Before WotC started putting their stuff up. I'm like, guys, if you want to talk about how bad your stuff is, make it $2 or $3. Why are you making it 7 to 10 if you don't want anyone to buy it. But yeah, it's.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know that thing is, I would do it is I would look for the new RPGs and say, is this worth it? Because you know the game, I can't expect game stores to have 1,000 RPGs that I can flip through.
Right,
You know,
right.
that's what I mean?
Especially like Brian was saying, the older stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You can only find it on eBay, and then you're paying collector's price, and then when you get it, it's in shitty condition, and they're like, "Well, I said it was used."
It's like a module. I mean, guys, you go through a module in one sitting, couple sittings, and it's done. And you've played it, and it's just like, do you want to dump, $100 on some, original D&D module to play once?
Well, you can get a lot of most of the D&D modules you can get for like $6 on drive-through. Like all the original TSR modules you can get.
Oh, okay.
As far as I know. And DM James says they come out really good. There's sometimes a little bit of issue with the format because they can't do the folding maps and stuff like that kind of thing. Whatever.
Stop shaming me.
Well, it's like I said when Watsy was complaining that they can't sell them. It's like, bring back the box, put the book in there, throw in 2 or 3 miniatures relevant to the thing, and keep it under $30, and they will sell like freaking hotcakes because people will buy the miniatures and get the book.
Okay, first off,
especially if they're unique sculpts.
Sometimes the box alone costs $30.
Okay,
in the industry, in the printing industry, boxes are usually more expensive than the contents.
So here's the thing.
There
Justin,
are standardized sizes on those.
Well, Justin, here's those are generally considered loss leaders.
Yeah,
which means that they're losing money on it, so you'll buy other products. And D&D has it. One is, why throw in miniatures at all? If you're not going to include enough miniatures for an entire party, it's kind of worthless throwing in the miniatures.
Well, you're expected to buy more than one.
They already have the starter sets. But I miss just the old shits like they used to have with the Star Frontiers. With those books,
cardboard counters.
Yeah, you just push them out, and then you have the whole thing to play. And
in my role playing, I don't do minis because I cannot buy enough damn minis for a module. That's like 50 different damn monsters or multiples of something. Yep. I get the pawns, the cardboard cutouts. Because for $20 you get 200 different monsters. So that's what I like to play with.
And then you can copy the crap out of those if you want.
Yes. I totally agree with that. Like I prefer theater of the mind, but the point of that is those 3 minis will sell that product to people who don't even play role-playing games.
Yeah,
like maybe. I don't know if you
like war gamers will be quality. That's a nice. Obviously, you need them.
Yeah, to be and here's the ultimate truth of knuckleheads of the coast. They don't want us playing the old stuff. Yeah, and they just don't. They just don't want that.
And to be honest, and I'm gonna. It's our fault. It's our community's fault because we are, as a community, as a gaming hobby community, majority of the people are sucked into the advertising BS where you got to have the new thing, the new edition, the new man. Why you don't?
Well, here's the thing: is you can get it reprinted, but you can't get it with the chits. It's in a book. But if this is true, go look at this. They allowed them to do this. What gets me about it is that if Wizards of the Coast to me was smart, well, to be fair, what they're looking at is books don't make them any real money. Books are cheap. That for profit margin, they might make $3 to $4 a book off of it, for whatever gets printed. So to them, it's not worth it. That's what people forget about. It's the branding, and this is why they're going for the virtual tabletop because they can sell. I'm going to give you a 3D cosmetic. And that will be, for $2 or $3.
That's another thing.
That's like what Disney did when they bought like Marvel. They don't give a damn about Marvel comics. That's why it sucks. They want the IP. It's a production house. All these IPs that can make movies. Physical media is going. It's not going to be around in 10, 20 years.
We say that, and yet. Look at how well that reminds
I
me
know,
of this
dude.
the paperless office. I can tell you this much: we print as much as we did before they went to the paperless office,
Yeah.
if not more. But the other thing that I think that comes into it is Wizards of the Coast. They the OSR stuff really that's such a small minority. I saw what was it? Just going off the Roll20. I don't know if you guys they stopped advertising it, but they used to go in the percentages, and it was basically 5e. Pathfinder, Warhammer, and then everything else was 1% or less. Well, you say nickel and dime, but you know what? We're not forced to buy it.
I say this.
you're right.
I say this honestly. If Wizards of the Coast hadn't been such d-holes the last 6 months that
Yep.
I've been paying attention to them, like racially offensive to me, I would have paid to go see the movie instead of downloading it off of Pirate Bay.
I've never bought a thing from Wizards of the Coast. I don't think.
No, I bought the 5e stuff.
I have bought miniatures, and I might still buy miniatures because miniatures aren't, they're not the same as buying their books. You know what I mean? And when I buy their miniatures, I'm buying them from somebody else, and sometimes those miniatures are, it's a monster or whatever that I can't get anywhere else, or it's a damn good miniature. Okay.
Yeah.
It's
I
not
might
the
have
same
bought
as
some
a book. It's not the same as a book telling me that they don't want me to read the book. You know what I mean?
Because of my race.
Well, here's the thing: is I don't mind buying the old stuff.
Our sexuality.
I don't mind buying the old stuff, and I really don't care what Wizards of the Coast does because at the end of the day, is they're appealing to a certain group, usually called BlackRock, to get their to get stuff in there.
Actually, BlackRock only owns 9% of their corporate Hasbro's corporate structure.
Okay, that's a huge amount. 9% is a huge amount.
It's a lot, but it's not even voting control from what I hear.
Well, that's
heard of BlackRock.
that 9%
They
is a huge
they're
amount.
They're the third largest economy on the planet.
Well, the point of BlackRock is BlackRock determines on whether it's Disney or all these others. What we're talking about is ESG. They push ESG, which means if your company isn't going towards ESG, they don't
What's
invest.
ESG?
It's death to whitey and straight people.
No, it's environmental social governance. It's not just
okay.
It's
it's
the whole thing that's
like the
pushing
World
this.
Economic Forum.
Yeah,
I'm the white devil, brother.
The stuff that concerns us is what I said. Though.
No, it pushes all of this crap on there, and that's what's doing it. Whether it's Disney or anything. So remember, what is the CEO's job? The CEO's job is to get the stock price high. They don't care about anything else.
Well,
you missed a good show, Nathan.
Legally,
but
that's
I'm
what
sure I
they're
missed a
required
good
to.
show too, buddy.
Legally, but
and I'll be over there.
It's not enforced. A law not enforced is a law that doesn't exist.
Well, it doesn't matter. The problem is that as a CEO, your job is to keep the stock price high. And if you're not going to get that 9%, guess what? Your stock drops a bunch. So,
I don't think I play anything mainstream.
Well, I like going to small indie developers. So, whether you like them or not, I don't want, do you make good games? So just like everyone's like, oh, Modifius, I don't like them because they're woke. Yeah, but they did Conan, and Conan is anything but woke.
I was about to say, they do Achtung Cthulhu, and that's Nazis and shit like that.
So what people do as a face versus what they put into their products are two very different things.
I'll be honest with you guys. I really politically, I don't even give a shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, if it's like overtly like, I'll laugh and I just, probably won't buy it. But it's like I'm not gonna like, down with this and I just
the problem is they politically care about you.
Well, here's the thing. I don't have to buy their products, and I don't. When was the last time I bought a WotC product? I can think it was before COVID.
I think I bought some of the. They got those black label minis, right? The real cheap plastic minis. I think I bought some of that stuff.
But I'm saying, when we talk about these things, is almost everything I do is independently owned.
I think maybe some movie off-brand like miniatures or something, maybe. But
I think
the last
Nerf,
official product was the fourth edition.
I think even from Hasbro, the last time I bought a Nerf thing was a ways back. Maybe a board game.
Do they own Nerf? I thought that was an independent company.
Yes.
When did they buy that out?
Nerf.
Antarctica. Is that what it says? Antarctica. What's going down in Antarctica? Besides
No, Nathan's channel. He
Nazis
does
in
a
the center of the earth and
I guess I don't know if he was doing a. He just finished his show. He does 2 shows on Saturday night. I told you the other day.
That's right.
And he's getting ready to do another show. As a matter of fact, in about 10 minutes, I'm going to leave you, gents, to go hang out with him because I co-host the show over there every Saturday night. And
Elder things, Antarctica. The Shoggoth are up there or down there in Antarctica.
Oh,
Dirk
yeah.
Pitt. You guys know the Dirk Pitt novels?
no,
No? Okay. It's like James Bond on the sea, or not James Bond.
oh really?
Halfway between James Bond and
So like a badass Jacques Cousteau kind of thing.
yeah. Like,
Okay, I can dig it.
and
Instead of fish, he's like with the ladies.
yeah. So it's one of those kind of things. But he did. There's a book where he goes to Antarctica and finds a sub with Nazi stuff on it, and it was pretty good.
See, we need to still do Octon Cthulhu at some point because that just seems like it's gonna be a lot of fun.
It can be.
Well,
It looks like
the problem is GMT took over whatever was Avalon Hill. Basically, if you want the Avalon Hill style games, go to GMT.
yeah.
It's because the only thing that Avalon Hill does nowadays is what Axis and Allies and maybe 1 or 2 other games, and that's it.
Oh yeah, brother.
Axis and Allies.
I do a huge con game, dude, of a Nazi airbase with like Quinson huts and like Ju-52s and then I have the especially like Operation was it High Point in the 47 when the U.S. Navy goes down there and does those operations or whatever. Especially that they're wiping out the Nazis, but I got the U.S. Marines like attacking the Antarctic base. It's pretty fun.
When I was in high school, we had the game shop across the street from the school. And every Tuesdays and Thursdays, we'd cut the afternoons and go either play Axis and Allies or Risk. We'd flip a quarter. See what one we play. And then after that, we'd get into our war games or role-playing games.
That's cool.
Charlie, GMT stands for German Meat Tank.
Well, GMT is the one that has all the stuff that we grew up with, like Avalon Hill style games, and they're huge. They're like $90, and they're like 5 or 6 pounds with all the counters and stuff. But that's why when I hear people talk about Avalon Hill that we remember as kids, it's nothing. They sell nothing like it anymore. That's why it's GMT. And GMT usually does a print on demand, so you kind of reserve it, and when they get enough, then they'll
300 or what you reserve. If it gets up to 300, then they'll produce it or something like that.
Yeah. So they'll do like a print run,
It's
and
like
after
a crowd
that,
order,
you have to pre-order it, and when they get enough, then they'll print it off again, and they'll tell you how many that they have for it.
That's kind of weird.
I understand why you do it, because why in the world waste you? Why lose your money trying to do,
it's like
you'll go bankrupt otherwise. So
there was this company I was hearing about. I can't remember the name of it.
Viewing pleasure.
What does that?
Oh, John Carter, that's my boy right there.
Wait a minute. Is that? Okay.
SCI. Love this freaking game.
How is that played?
One of the funny thing about it, it's got like 4 different ways to play it. It depends on what you want to do. You want to go man to man, man
to man, baby,
or squad to squad or armies, and it's got like it's one of the weirdest games they ever put out, because it's like a quasi role playing game from this company, or a miniature war game, or a ship to ship combat, or different scenarios, and it's even got this game mechanic in it, like a romancing the princess, kind of thing. It's a blast, but good luck finding it for less than $200 now.
What was that?
Oh, speaking of one thing we talked about, IP, XCOM.
XCOM. Yeah,
Never heard
Never
of
got into XCOM.
yeah, that would be cool. You just have like a mat, you
Drool.
put a ship down on it.
No,
you
no, no,
gotta
no. I'm
make
talking about as an
tactical-
RPG. As an
Oh yeah,
RPG.
yeah. I picture that more as a war game, though.
No, well, that's only because you're thinking of it as a war game. But
Well,
it's
it is a
perfect fit
war
for
game in the
RPG.
computer.
I have to admit, 1888 was badass, dude.
1888.
Is it 1888 or 1889? I can't remember what's the.
It might
Do
be
you guys
1889.
remember?
No, I remember.
Do you guys
That
remember
was
who
long.
wrote who published the creature that ate Sheboygan?
No.
Never heard of it.
I have
Man.
no earthly, dude. That's like a black
Really?
and white, like like a
It's-
pocket-sized rule book.
No, it was a full-fledged.
Was
It
it?
was either SCI or Avalon Hill or somebody else. It's one of those typical. It's not one of the little micro games, but it could have been, I suppose. But it was literally a monster, of the
I've played it.
Godzilla style
Oh,
monster game.
TSR
but
had
I don't-
one that was very similar, where you basically had the big board. You could play like a giant penguin and other stuff. And they had like these giant animals. You could put missiles on them and stuff as they would go marching down. I don't know if you guys remember that. It was from the
What was it,
1980s.
Zords or whatever.
No,
No,
Yeah,
TSR had this
Zords.
game, and it was
No, there was a toy line called Zords where
Zoids, yeah, Zoids.
Yeah, I had some Zoids, but this was nothing like Zoids.
Big moves. You
Think,
wind 'em up.
think of it like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, except with kaiju-sized animals that then had armor and like imagine Adeptus Titanicus meets Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and kaiju. That's what it was like.
yeah, it sounds.
if you're gonna go that route, you might as well just grab Giant Monster Rampage. It's like $10 tops, and it literally lets you use your kids' toys as dinosaurs or whatever as a kaiju battle game. My son and I had so much fun with that dumb game. It's definitely
there
worth
decent-
putting into. But
Decent game set in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
There was a role-playing game for that. I remember that was pretty popular. I think it had a couple.
Yeah,
yeah,
it was
Palladium did. Yeah,
Yeah.
Palladium.
Now that's called After the Bomb, and they removed they scratched off the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on it and just renamed it After the Bomb. It's
I guess
okay.
they lost the rights or whatever to use it. But I've got a couple of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Palladium books. It was,
Kevin,
it was more based on the comic books, but
Kevin Simbita said that he gave it away because after the movie came out, everyone looked at it as a kids thing. He said he was selling really well, and then it disappeared. But what gets me about it is when he was quoting some of his sales figures.
Dude.
I don't know if you guys know this, but half of all books only sell 1,000 copies or less in a year. Half of all books printed, and only 1% sell over 100,000. And he was pushing up in those numbers, and so that really tells you just how well some of these were doing for him.
So, real quick, Shadow, you're talking about kaiju stuff. There's a company called Back to Creations. They're like a garage kit kind of company. They make a 19-inch tall Godzilla, and it's like 32 inches long. It's massive. It's resin. It's a resin model kit.
Oh, really? Because I had one that was.
I'm going to
almost
shoot
as
the
a
link
kid.
on the private
Oh.
stream and let you guys check out a video this guy did of it, and it is epic. Let me show. It's a YouTube. It's a YouTube link.
what's happening, Graham? How you doing, buddy?
You guys get a chance to look at that link and check out that freaking King Kong. I need it. That's epic. You should watch it. I don't have the YouTube up, so if you guys want to paste that link to the YouTube group too. But yeah, it's freaking. We were just talking about kaiju stuff, man. It is massive. I mean, 19 inches tall.
You know what? As a
32
kid,
inches long.
well, 32 inches long is huge. But as a kid, I had one that was probably like 24 inches tall that used to shoot out like something from its mouth.
Yeah,
was
like the
plastic.
Shogun Warrior. They
Yeah.
came out with the
Shogun
Shogun
Warriors. I
Warriors.
remember those.
Yeah.
These are, they had wheels in them on the bottom of their feet.
Yeah.
rolling
Yes, you can
around.
move
Yeah,
them
yeah,
along.
Yeah, hey, again, that's another $200 to $300 piece of nostalgia. If you wanted that in your collection, good
They're hard to
freaking
find too. They
Largest
weren't like
thing
super
like that I
popular.
ever had.
I
was,
must be terrible because I'm the one person that doesn't really
Teenage
try
Mutant
going for
Turtles
nostalgic
trophy.
pieces. I'm like, okay, fine. I'm not going to spend that much. You know, it's-
Yeah, I just. Yeah.
My upper limit is $50.
Yeah, I'm a cheap bastard when it comes to shit. I mean, before I
Well,
buy
what it-
anything, I meticulously check like 50 different websites and try to get
Yep,
the cheapest.
You know,
Yeah.
guys, if
My
you,
wife.
like I said, if you ever are really looking for something and you really
I'm not
want
gonna
it,
tell them what you said.
wait until the summertime. That's when people are selling spring and summer. From February 15th to September 15th is when people get rid of their stuff to pay for the previous holiday and to
Yeah.
pay for their summer vacations. They go through their stuff, they're doing their spring cleaning, and they start putting stuff on eBay, and they don't put it at collector prices, you know, the maximum price, because they price it to sell. The stuff that's on there right now is people going, I'm not budging on my price. But you wait a month or two from now, you go out there and you will see prices for stuff that's crazy. The other people will leave their high prices out there. Just hit the, you know, on eBay, the, you know, search for lowest price, and you will see if there's something you've
Always.
really been looking for and you want it, but you can't afford the collector prices right now.
Yeah.
Just wait a month or two.
I just need to get
But, you know-
one book, and that was the what is it, the 40K book after the Astronomicon or whatever it was called, the one that was after the Rogue Trader 40K.
Uh-huh.
The original.
The Book of the Astronomicon, yeah.
Yeah, that was the one because that was the one book I could not
I used to
find.
have
I
that.
have the old Realms of Chaos somewhere.
What was the other book, though? The red book that had like mostly Eldar stuff in it that came out after Rogue Trader.
Oh no, that was the one of the White Dwarf Compendium things that was
Yeah, the
soft
compendium.
Right.
That's a
that's
great
you right
book.
there.
I
Yeah.
had that one too. I had that one too.
Yeah, I
but
did.
not
I
get
don't
the other
have that one anymore. I do need to get that one.
The Book of the Astronomicon is pretty hard to get. I used to have that back in the day, but that's a hard one to get.
Well, that
And
was
the,
one I
the
saw.
Slaves to the Darkness or the
Sorry,
Nurgle
Graham.
one is hard to find.
The Realms of
I'll
Chaos.
put her
and
on
I
our
had volumes
prayer
1
to
and
get
2. Those were
Yeah.
really good.
Those
That's
Hey,
why-
Brian, tell
The-
us what she said. Tell us what she said.
Slaves to the Darkness.
No, Charlotte was asking, what did your wife say? Because you were like, talking.
See, women, dude, they fucking pick everything up, man.
I was actually.
Well, no, you
curious,
come and
too.
tell them. Yeah, she's not wearing any clothes. She wearing her no. You gotta tell them that. You gotta tell them yourself. I'm not gonna tell them because it's jerkish. You will never know. Sorry, Charlotte.
None of us will know.
You guys, oh yeah. If you guys want to know Mel, just watch one of our battle reports on our channel. That's Mel, 24/7 freaking brat.
Ouch.
Oh.
$300 for it, or $150 for the soft cover. Ow.
Oh shit, here she comes. You gonna make an appearance, woman?
I said he is a cheap bastard because he's old.
Right. Someone's got to keep you in your
Uh,
duds and
Eh,
baubles and stuff.
At a ripe old age of 37, I'm a quarter of his age, and I'm a cheap bastard.
Man, you gotta be a cheap bastard. You go even more broke.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you know, I didn't get where I'm at by just
Wait till you
chilling
have
out,
kids,
you know,
man.
top dollar guys.
Jeez.
You know,
You know what? I'm not a cheap bastard. I'm just at this point discerning on what I buy.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
frugal.
there's definitely a lot of that. I mean, if you've seen any of my, you know,
called class,
any of
okay?
the, if you've seen any of my Dungeons and Lasers hauls, you know, or my gun show trips, you know, I'm not a cheap bastard all the time. It's where I choose to be a cheap bastard.
Shadow, we
You know.
know you're sitting on a damn oil well or some shit. This all the stuff that you buy, man. I mean, I know you relax in your
Only-
your hot
only-
tub and you got your
Okay,
bikini girl serving you drinks with the stuff in it.
Only
Wait a
a
minute,
all
third
the
of
crap
this
that you
room is
buy.
accessible with how much crap there's in it. Okay.
Okay, I'm going to say this much.
You're
which
not
is
far from
my-
wrong.
my-
Justin, I gotta go clean out the garage next week. I literally, in my part of the garage where the car isn't parked, I literally can't walk in my one car garage part where I keep my stuff.
Ultimate episode of Hoarders, the gamer edition. Oh my God, that would be an excellent series of Hoarders.
We've seen it in many places where there have been newspapers to the room, and none of them have had this much crap.
Well, see, my ex, as much as you talk about that, my ex has been able to find fantastic deals on Craigslist. But for as little money as she gets, I've never seen someone stretch $1 so far.
I know, Mac. I heard that too. A quarter his age. What the?
Well, he's 12. It's not his fault. He's 12.
I gave my age at 37. That's what I am. Still
a
quarter of his age.
You're 3/4. Yeah, you're.
I remember 37 so long ago,
dude.
Yeah,
if I make it to 147, dude. What's happening, Fritz? Long time no see, man. Real quick, Fritz. I am sorry I couldn't hang out with you this week. I had just a really, really busy week, and when you're on early, that makes it even harder. But hopefully next week you'll get your shit together, and we can hang out on your show at a reasonable hour. Not during my nap time. I'm kidding. Not when mornings are busy with the sun.
Yeah, that's his masseuse. When his masseuse comes, that's his nap time. Those little money to the.
There are 3 women, about
like
24 each.
Dude, I don't know who's watching, man. Don't get me busted,
How was
man.
my stock in Wizards of the Coast today?
He owns more than BlackRock.
Dude,
I
if I had
only own
stock,
25% of the company.
if I had stock in Wizards, I would drop it in a freaking hot minute.
I wish I had. I intended to buy.
I know there's oil in California. There ain't oil in California.
Well,
Probably is. You just can't pull it out.
Yeah. There is oil in California, but it's all going to make Newsom's hair gel. Okay.
I'm going to say this much.
No, it all comes from Newsom's hair.
I wish I had bought Hasbro stock because I wanted to short it, and I would have made about 20% if I had done so.
I always hear people complaining about Games Workshop making all their personalities and artists anonymous, but then I read the Twitter feeds of people who work at Wizards of the Coast and Paizo and know exactly why they don't give you the name of who painted the
what's
cover.
funny, man? The last 5 role-playing games I've watched online, right? These people look really good, right? And I find out they're all fucking voice actors. They're actors that they're being employed by whoever. That dude, I don't mind it if you're actually playing the game, but the problem that I'm noticing with all of them is none of them even seem to understand. Like, this is the first time I ever feel represented. Like, there's something called Oriental Adventures, right? Did you read Mastika? Did you read Al Akib? They have all the stuff from the old things that would represent you, and you decide that I feel like I can play the game now. Yeah, exactly.
It's just it's still sealed. It's still sealed. That's what kind of racist I am.
It's like
I never want to play this crap.
How do they even walk out of the front door?
I just had no one to play it with. Yeah. And then when I actually married a Latina, she's like, "What's this?"
No, you don't understand this, man. Those old books made whatever culture they had super cool. That's why.
I know, right? I know, and they act like we're shitting on it.
No, we were.
But hey, guys, I got to roll. I have to run. Not only do I need to use the little Dungeon Master's room, but it's that time for me to do the other show. This was a blast. I can't wait to rub it in my son's face. We had more fun tonight than we've had in a good long time. This was a really fun episode. I do not have a single clue what we're doing next week, but rest assured, we will do something fun next week. You guys are all
just remember, it's the little
join
dungeon
us.
Keeper that's the problem in his little Dungeon Master room.
Right.
We got little Dungeon Ivy up in here.
Yeah, exactly.
They make a pill for that now.
It's like, my dungeon's bigger than yours. I got more traps.
Oh,
I got more
we'll have a
juice
conversation
than
about
mine.
traps later.
Oh,
You need
mine
to be warned
includes
about
a
them.
mimic. I'm like, I'm not going into your little dungeon master's room if it has a mimic.
It's like, well, you know what? Gelatinous cube. Take that.
Guys, have a
right.
wonderful Easter. Love you guys. I will see you as soon as possible.
Already on.
All right, guys. Take it
Party
easy.
on,
See you
guys.
later.
Bye, guys. Hey, you guys can still hang out if you want. You know,
No,
the
we're
show's,
Yeah,
you know,
we're good.
what's
I scared Omen out last time we hung out.
okay. All right, guys.
All right, see you later.
Good night,
Bye.
everybody. God
Bye.
bless.